Liberty Bay Books in Poulsbo, Washington. Megan Chance's book, Prima Donna, published by Random House, about historical Seattle, historical New York, and the opera. Great read.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the prologue from this book, and then afterwards, I'll take whatever questions you want, and we can kind of go from there. Him drowning on his own blood, and then suddenly it stopped altogether. I didn't dare turn to look. I heard footsteps in the hallway outside the door, and in a panic I lifted my hands from the water in the basin, dark red now, more blood than water, and grabbed the towel, pressing it hard against my face to stop the bleeding, despite the pain that brought tears to my eyes. In the armoire there was a dark blue wool among the ball gowns of silk and lace. I had to put the towel aside to put it on, and the blood dripped relentlessly into my eyes. My hands shook so hard it took forever to make the buttons go through the hoops. I shoved my stockingless feet into boots and left them unbuttoned and looked wildly about, trying to think. Money. I would need money, but there was none, only my jewels. I grabbed what was on my dressing table, shoving necklaces and rings and brooches into my pockets, and then I yanked on my cloak, pulling up the hood to hide my loose and tangled hair, and pressed the towel again to my face, and went to the door, nearly tripping over his bare feet, such lovely feet, so well shaped for a man. The sight of them startled me anew. I forced myself to look away. Beyond the door, the hallway was silent. I stepped out, trying to make no noise. There was the elevator, but I didn't dare take it, not looking like this. Instead, I took the stairs, the back ones for the servants. My boot heels clattered on the wood. The stairs were narrow and dim, and I was shaking so badly now that I wasn't certain I could make it to the bottom. I heard footsteps below me, and I drew into a darkened corner and turned my head away to hide my face. A steward hurried up the first flight and paused when he saw me. "Miss?" he asked, and I motioned roughly for him to go on, muttering something, I hardly knew what. And he hesitated, trying to peer into the dark. He could not have seen anything, and he was in a rush. He didn't delay. I waited until he had gone by, and then I raced down as if speed alone would keep me from discovery. The kitchen, swirling with movement, was on one side of a narrow hall half obstacled with carts and laundry bags meant for the washroom on the other side. Maids dodged about carrying glasses and linens. There was no way to avoid them. I hesitated, and then I moved quickly and with purpose to the back door. No one stopped me, most simply moved out of my way as if I were part of the dance of their hurry. And then I was outside in the dark alley, past the garbage, running, my unbuttoned boots nearly slipping off with every step. I dodged the street lamps and kept close to the shadows where no one could see me clearly if they saw me at all. The only sound I heard was my own breath, and with it came the echo of his, the images that flashed before my eyes as if they were happening anew. His hands on my hips holding me helpless, my scream as he cut me, the knife in my hand, the spurting blood. I did not realize where I'd been going until I was already there, until I'd gone blocks and blocks, until my side hurt and my whole face was a throbbing, stinging ache. Past the dead-end warrens and the tenement buildings, until I stood in an alley littered with fish bones and trash piles pulsing with rats, potholed with shallow pools of emptied spittoons and chamber pots and the dregs of emptied caves. The night was warm, and the stink stung my nostrils along with the nauseating smell of my own blood. I was before the propped-open back door of a beer hall. I heard the music from within, a polka orchestra, and the clanking of pans from the kitchen, shouted orders. 2 fish! Get the spatzel down! Kartoffelis! Hurry now! I had not stepped foot in the place for years, but I had nowhere else to go. I eased through the back door into the storage room. The shadows of stacked kegs filled the near darkness. The kitchen was beyond, men rushing about, their movements staccato and strange in the haze of greasy steam. The air was loud with the hiss of frying fish, the clank of plates, the thump of Herr Meyer's wooden leg as he moved efficiently about, shouting instructions. They were too busy to notice me, and I was in darkness besides. I had played hide-and-seek among the kegs since I was very small, and now I found my way easily through them to the hallway that opened into the beer hall at one end, to stairs at the other. The music was louder here, as was the talk. The heavy press of smoke and the smell of sweat and beer made me dizzy. I pressed the towel to my face, and blood seeped from it, dripping down my hand to my wrist. I waited until the hall was clear and dashed out, up the peeling and scarred blue-painted stairs, not slowing until they turned and I was out of sight to anyone below. Then I paused, waiting for a shout of discovery. There was none, thank God, but now I began to feel sick and uncertain. The door of the apartment at the top was closed, and I did not know who would open it. I did not know what my reception would be.